The legalities of game mods. What you need to know. Introduction to game modding legalities. Game modding involves modifying or adding to a game's content, often creating new experiences for players. However, the legality of game mods can be complex, involving intellectual property rights, terms of service, and more. Understanding these legal aspects is crucial for modders and gamers alike. 1. Intellectual property rights and modding, copyright and trademarks. Game developers hold intellectual property, IP, rights over their creations, including the game's code, assets, and brand. Modding can sometimes infringe on these rights, especially if mods use copyrighted material without permission. Understanding copyright and trademark laws is essential to avoid legal issues. 2. End-user license agreements, EULAs, terms of service and modding restrictions. Most games come with an end-user license agreement, EULA, that outlines what players can and cannot do with the game. EULAs often include clauses restricting modding or using game assets outside the game. Reviewing these agreements helps modders stay compliant with legal terms. 3. Fair use doctrine, legal protections for transformative works. In some jurisdictions, the fair use doctrine may protect certain mods, particularly those that transform the original work significantly. This protection is limited and context-specific, so understanding how it applies to modding is important for assessing legal risks. 4. Distribution of mods, sharing and selling mods. Distributing mods can pose legal challenges. Sharing mods online or through platforms like Steam Workshop is generally allowed if it respects IP rights and terms of service. Selling mods, however, can be more legally complex, as it may require permissions or licenses from the original game developers. 5. Modding communities and legal risks, collective responsibility. Modding communities often have their own guidelines and practices regarding legal issues. While these communities can provide support and advice, it's crucial for individual modders to understand and comply with legal requirements to avoid potential disputes. 6. Developer support and modding policies, working with developers. Some game developers actively support modding and provide tools or guidelines for creating mods. Developers with modding-friendly policies are generally more flexible regarding IP use. Engaging with developer support and adhering to their guidelines can mitigate legal risks. 7. Modding controversies and legal cases, historical examples. There have been several high-profile legal cases involving game mods, such as disputes over unauthorized use of assets or infringement of IP rights. Learning from these cases can provide insights into potential legal pitfalls and how to avoid them. 8. International legal differences, varying laws by region. Legalities of game mods can vary significantly by country. Intellectual property laws and enforcement practices differ internationally, affecting how mods are regulated. Modders should be aware of the legal environment in their jurisdiction and any regions where their mods are distributed. 9. Legal advice for modders, seeking professional guidance. Given the complexities of game modding law, seeking legal advice from professionals with expertise in intellectual property and entertainment law can be beneficial. Legal experts can help modders navigate potential issues and ensure compliance with relevant laws. 10. Best practices for modding legally, guidelines for compliance. To mod legally, follow best practices such as respecting IP rights, adhering to EULAs, avoiding distribution of copyrighted material, and seeking developer permissions when necessary. Being transparent about the origins of mod assets and avoiding commercialization without proper rights can help mitigate legal risks. Conclusion. Navigating game modding legally. Understanding the legalities of game modding is essential for modders and gamers. By being aware of intellectual property rights, EULAs, fair use doctrines, and other legal aspects, modders can create and share content while minimizing legal risks. Following best practices and seeking professional advice can help ensure a positive and legally compliant modding experience.